Well, hello there, everyone. This should be a fun one as it's the day after getting back from TechHub Live. So this little Ag Uncensored podcast in the pickup edition will go through my thoughts, feelings, emotions, all that fun stuff. Um, I'll start off by saying this. Thank you to the Meister Media team for allowing me to have my booth there and got a free pass to do the podcast there. Um, I'm gonna be frank though. I uh, I didn't end up recording any. I tried once and I realized my mic was messed up and it didn't record for like 30 minutes. And then I got busy. So sorry about that. But that's not to say didn't have a lot of good conversations. And honestly, after I got things set up, um, I noticed something fairly quickly. And there's some people I asked if they wanted to do it, and there's always a general like, yeah, okay. But that's usually more so when it's like, you know, separate online kind of, and people can kind of focus on their own thing. When there's a group of people, sometimes it's a little different. And this will kind of start off with what the feeling is of the whole show. It was, as I kind of put online yesterday, depressingly optimistic. So, what does that mean? Well, attendance was down. That was known. Whether it was known ahead of time or not, everyone's optimistic that is that. But yeah, there's a depressed state in the industry. This is nothing new. Um, there's a lot of uncertainty in ag. There is a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of stress. There's good things that are seemingly popping up, but yeah, it's a confusing time, and you could tell that in the air. And yeah, there's definitely some people that weren't there because budgets are getting cut, people are getting cut. There's not as much enthusiasm to spend money on new stuff necessarily. Um, it's yeah, it's a weird time. I'll say I've been going to this show or the previous version of it since I was like a kid, so it's nothing new for me. These things have happened a few different times. I don't know offhand, maybe 4 or 5 different times of just like, oh, this is not looking good and all this. And then things bounce back, things come back. Ag is cyclical. That's how it works. You don't want to deal with it, don't be in it. Like, I mean, it's really that simple. This is just how ag is. So, um, you either stay with it or you don't. Now, while I say depressingly optimistic, that was the other side. There is optimism that things are going to shift here. Um, Part of it is there, well, there's less startups getting in the way. Um, that was kind of a common thing. It's not that startups are bad, but from past history, a lot of them just got in the way of what some of us were building towards, and it kind of messes up the messaging because sometimes big money raise, big hype, all this blah blah blah, just messes the conversation up. We can't focus and concentrate, and clients can't because they get distracted so easily by big money um, and big ideas. Really wasn't a lot of that going on. It was more, okay, what do we do? Let's try to get it sold and supported and serviced and all that. Um, but yeah, there was also like just not a lot of people, not as many people there. I think they were down 100 or so people. In the previous year, were down like 100 or so people. So I don't, whatever exact numbers are. It's also to be known, it's not Meister's fault. This is just industry shifts. They ran a great show. It was fine. No qualms there. I didn't hear anyone actually complain about how the show went on. It was more just, yeah, it's a weird time. But like I said, there's also optimism, and part of it. So that was one part, that there's not all this new hype and fluff. It's kind of okay. Here's where we're here. Um, but part of it was okay. People are seeing some of the advantages coming from where AI can help them, and it's actually more just to save costs internally with development. More are offshoring work, which is cheaper, and you combine those two, and you can get some more stuff done faster. Now, how that is used is important. Is it just another feature, another tool that's being used, or is it something bigger and broader, easier to use the system, what the tools are, and it's a mixture of all those things. So and I think people also see something else happening. This kind of where some of the rumors come in. And if you saw my little fun stupid picture meme yesterday that I had the good old AI create, um well, it was a black stone, and there's a little thing, happily ever after. Rumor mills abound. Seemingly, this has been going on. Everybody knows this, so I don't think this is big, just news. It's just what it is. Seems Everag is getting purchased by the PE firm, Blackstone Capital or Partners. A lot of people think it's BlackRock, which is like the biggest. They like own 90% of everything, and then the other three own like 90% of everything, and then they own each other. You could get into a whole world of investment banking there. But that rumor mill has been going on since, oh gosh, uh, this spring for sure. Some people have left, some people have fired, people have switched because of these things. It's actually just normal business practice. I can't confirm it 100%, but when you hear it from multiple different people all around, yeah, it's something's done. Sure, it'll be released. Who knows? Maybe today, because I sent out a cryptic, stupid meme. Um, I'm guessing soon. There's PR and all this fun crap. So rumor, don't take for what it is. I'm not saying it's like, oh, a terrible bad thing or this. It's also depressingly optimistic, because it's just happening again. It's like another large giant something is buying one of the big staples. And what's going to happen? Well, what usually happens is things get combined, efficiencies, it's money. People get let go, new people get brought in. Sometimes it creates chaos, frustration with clients. They're like, oh, well, this again. Now, what's going to happen now? And it's just another thing. And I mean, the rumor mills are also tied to actually the same group wanting TELUS ag. Um, but there's confusion on what they want to do. I'm sure there's others that this group and maybe some other PE firms I've talked about. There's a want for PE firms to buy some of these AgTech assets for cheap and then reorganize them, put them together, and then boom, bing, here's money apparently. Uh, I'm sure there's more to happen there. I don't know if it's good or bad for the industry. I'm like I said, depressingly optimistic that it could help, but it's also depressing that that is the process in which we see, I guess, success with our digital solutions. Um, one thing I've talked about is what a lot of people in ag want, from ag retailers to agronomists to farmers to all the in-betweens. They want lasting power. Okay, so maybe the brand's gonna last, the tool's gonna last, but sometimes they want the company to last, the founders, the thing like that. And I think how, like, more or less, for instance, for Forever Ag, how it was is a lot of them were still there. And that kind of helped. Now, will that switch? I would assume. That was one thing that I know was a conversation point from my even days in Telus. It's like, well, okay, a lot of the founders leave. I mean, it's a very common thing with mergers and acquisitions. Is the original team kind of goes off in the sunset after a year or so, or even right away, and that kind of pulls the rug out from under clients that trusted those things. Ag's different; it's built differently, and sometimes that legacy trust is it's ingrained into how people use and feel these things out. Um, it's honestly one reason why I'm doing what I'm doing on the open FMIS stuff, and just the history with me and my dad and our family company. It's like, yeah, we didn't want someone else to have it. It's like our farm and our thing. And for a lot of these other groups, I mean, it was their thing, their baby. They put so much time and effort, and but yeah, you get a big check, you're not going to say no either. Um, while we got close a couple times, we didn't get one, so kept on going, kept on pushing, and others will do that and get there. Um, so I don't know. I I don't know what to think of it yet. I mean, I'm for the people that I know that are there and I've talked to, and yeah, if that is the thing, congratulations. I hope it works well for you. You know, bully, good job. Hopefully it works for the clients and they're okay. But dramatic pause. They are frustrated. And I'm not saying this specifically exactly to two groups I just was talking about. They're just generally frustrated in general. Um, pop, not a beer. Um, they just see the same pattern. It's not that they don't necessarily like the tool or something like that or the people. It's just the same story. And we're kind of caught in this same thing. And as I talk, we're kind of plateauing. There's not a growing interest. Even some of the report research things that I think Purdue and what's his name put out showing that there's this downward trend. It's like I said, it's depressing. But then I've been in these things before, and this was also the common thing about this is when things are down, the people that have been in those times, we know and realize that now is the time to build and build things a little differently. Not just some new feature and all this. It's like inherently change the way we go about it and shift the mindset. There's various ways that can happen. And yeah, one of the ways is what I'm trying to do on this Open FMIS, which by the way, um, I had a great reception from it. It was lots of questions though, a lot of curiosity. Yeah, some fear, and I get that. And I tried to kind of talk the way through that. And yes, I'm still trying to figure that out. But that was one of the optimistic things people were talking about. And that was really nice to see. And it was like, this is a different way. And most like I think this can help us. Because yeah, we're doing the same crap over and over again. Maybe we can combine on this and we can concentrate on our tools that like work. So it's just a nice feeling. That was my point of doing it. Whether how it all turns out, I I'm positive on it. How long, I don't know. I'm working on it. Like I said, I need the industry support. I don't want to make it about me. I want to make it about all of us. Think of it this way. Okay, investment is down in the ag tech and digital ag and precision ag space. Um, Investors are just kind of going away. Some of the major corporates. That's another thing I heard from multiple groups and some like large groups, OEMs and input groups and whatnot. The majors are getting out. Microsoft out, Amazon out, Google out. Others like them that are giant. These giant tech groups that we're trying to play within it. They're out. They're done with us. They said you're too messed up. You don't make money. You don't follow our timelines. Blah blah blah. Well, to heck with them. Screw them. Get out. They're gonna come back. They will. They always do. So now is our time to build and change the message. And so it was positive, optimistic to hear about that. And yeah, emotionally, that's a great thing to hear. But it did seem to help other people realize, okay, we got to do something different. We got to step up to the plate and we got to think of some new ways. Maybe mine's a part. It's just a part. There are other things, new things with AI can help. Um, Working together better, partnering a little better, making partnerships work, not just be a press release. One thing I said is like, okay, if outsiders don't want to invest in us, let's invest in ourselves. Let's help each other. Let's literally invest in ourselves, maybe physically with dollars if someone does have it, but also just time and effort. Try to help each other. Try to help that other group that you know sell something you provide. Be like, yeah, let's figure it out. Let's get a win-win. Let's both win here. Even if it's not perfect, let's try. And I had a lot of conversations around that. And yeah, some was just others talking. It's like, yeah, yeah, I should work together. Like, what the hell are you not? Why aren't you talking? And others, it's like, yeah, this we could work together and contribute to this and boom, boom, boom. And then like, hey, then it's easy for our tools to work together. So it's not just us. It's more this like unifying story. And one of the biggest questions like I had on some of the open stuff, and it was broad too. It wasn't just like the things I'm talking about, but like other open things. It's like, wow, this is going to get in the way of like these majors. They're going to be mad. I'm like, why? We only, as a whole, probably have tapped, I don't know, 20% of the market to use all our tools. We might have a lot of acres in there. There might be some little pieces of data. We haven't tapped much. And then the people that actually use it, of that 20%, I don't know, 10% of them like really use these tools, like our power users. It's probably actually less. And everyone agrees because they see it. They're like, yeah, it's like I might have 1,000 users, but there's really like it's like 100 people that actually kind of continually use it, in a decent way. And there's really like 10 guys that like they do most of it. Like that is our problem. So, okay, you want to keep that consistent, keep that good, where those revenues are fine, good. Absolutely. If we step into some of these other open things, it's like, well, there's 80% of the rest that we can tap. We could tap it together. Maybe we need to just do it in a different way. You can still take your tools and configure them into this thing. That's the point. It's not like getting rid of your crap. I don't want that. I want you to tear apart your systems. I'm saying let's build a continuity in a different way so that we can tap the other 80%. We can get usage up higher. And so that's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of rethinking. But what's our other option? What is it? Do the same crap and keep the 20% while it slowly just degrades because they're like, what is everyone doing? And sure, there are pockets of that are getting a little better. There's pockets that are going down. I mean, the the imagery world that I've grown up in, it's actually trending down. I That's a whole nother episode to get into why that is. I mean, in general, we've commoditized it to hell and given away for free, and sometimes people just don't even see the data. So it's like, I don't even know if I'm using it or not. So they're like, I don't think I'm using it. So then they put that in a survey. They say I'm not using it. And they maybe are. Just don't, see it directly. Common thing that happens in the data world. Anyways, so I see some hope, but it's going to take a lot more work. There's enthusiasm, but there is a lot of people are scared and anxious and depressed over it too. But here's the thing. Um, what really a show like TechHub Live is, it's really our AA meeting. We all get together, talk about all the crap. Most, we stay out way too late talking about things, trying to make deals, but just trying to like help each other out. Pat a guy in the back, tell a gal it's like it's okay. Let's figure something out. It's a AgTech Anonymous kind of, it's our AA meeting. We're a bunch of addicts. people that are still in this game, we're literally just a bunch of addicts, and we want AgTech to survive and work. It's true. Laugh about it, but it's true. I'm addicted to it. It's not necessarily good. Sometimes it's not great, but here we are. So we got to kind of do something with it. And I'll be honest, there's people that are there's quite a few. I'm not even maybe that far away from it myself. Some of us are given one last chance to get this. Otherwise, we're just done. I'm not even kidding. Um, More on that. Gotta bring the dogs in, of course, because here we are. Come on, puppies. And they have a walk for days since I've been gone. So, but that's also the thing, and maybe that won't happen. But a lot of my colleagues from the past have been like, "I'm so tired of this shit. Like, I don't think I can do. I don't know if I can do this much more." It's not one thing; it's many things. It's just time. Things wear you down. Things wear you out. At the same time, I've heard it before. I've said it before. Others have. We stick around, we get enticed to do this and this, and that's all great. So we'll see what happens there. But there are a few that are just they're just tired, like maybe something else. Um, Maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe some of us old guard are the ones bringing it all down. Maybe we're the depressing assholes in this whole mix, and some new blood needs to come in and help it out. I would say there is an accuracy probably to that as well. Oddly enough, though, some people that did get out and they won. They won their battle with AgTech, sold their businesses, and took some time off. My good colleague, friends in crime, and with our similar story, Matt Waits grew up in this company his dad started, and he ran, and you know he's back. Sometimes he's like, I don't know why I'm back, but I'm back. It's like it's because it's in your blood. You can't help it. It's important, and you know it's important, and you know you can do something. He's not the only one. There's others that are kind of like, okay, now that all the craziness is kind of gone, these hype big dollars, maybe it's time to come in and do it. Because one thing I talked about with some of the people I've known for a long time there is we were getting there. We all were getting there. We were smaller, but we were getting there. We had less money, but we were getting there because we were fitting more with the path of agriculture, which is slow and methodical and a slow, steady pace, dealing with the blows. And what was happening before the money came in, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying this is what was going on. We all were finding our respective niches and owning them and allowing others to do those things while we figured out our stuff. And we didn't all try to do the same thing. We found what works, what we know and can do well, and then we were starting to work together. Even the larger ag retailers were seeing this. They're like, okay, these guys are working together. I'm going to work with both of them or three of them, and we'll figure this out. And we're slowly getting even people to realize all these other things. And as someone pointed out, what the money really did is it just fractured the story. The story changed so fast. We didn't know what to do. We didn't have time to react, and so much ideas and information came in that was new and challenged our world that it it almost came too fast. And yeah, it forced plenty out. It forced plenty out, luckily, through selling or acquisitions. It changed the dynamics of how we talk to customers, how they talk to us, how they relate to us, all that fun crap. So I've wondered, do we, and I'm just racking around. I'm wondering if this is actually live. I don't think I turned my thing off. So if it is, it is, I guess, and I'll deal with it as I am. But it makes me wonder, this is what I kind of said. I was like, maybe that needed to happen. Maybe all that chaos needed to happen. Now I gotta feed my dogs, as I've done before, so hold on. Maybe we needed to kind of get our ass punched a little bit in this whole endeavor. Maybe we needed to realize collectively that, money doesn't solve all these problems. It helped, but it also hurt. We also just needed to see it and feel it instead of um, just assuming that we were getting it figured out too, which, yes, it felt that way to some of us, but we also weren't. So I guess in some sense, yeah, we've evolved and it's a natural progression. And now we're kind of back. We've learned, okay, that was a thing. This is why it worked and didn't work. Okay, now what do we do? Well, at least we've learned. So I guess we can, like I said, work together, figure these things out in a lull, try to do it a little differently, learn from our mistakes, um, learn from the things that did work. Plenty of things did work. Plenty of new people came in and challenged things and made things better. Don't get me wrong. I'm as critical as ever, and skeptical on plenty of it. But all these little things happen. All these little paths happen. So while it's been a tough road, I'm still optimistic, and I'm here fighting, trying to figure it out, trying to help as many people as I can in this. One thing that's helped me a lot in at least just this last week, literally, like I said, thanks for all the support on the Open FMIS. And it's not to take out anything, it's just to try another way. Can we take some of the things that we've all developed and do something more with it and work together to solve these bigger issues? And farmers need to be involved in this too. We gave up on them because they didn't pay us directly something. And there's so many that are like, well, farmers don't want to pay. We're not going to do this. It's like, well, because we told them the wrong story. We didn't give them the right tools that they can trust and stay with and build from and get the value that's important to do. We got to get the information out of their head that's the contextual data. Most of the data that they have is from sensors in the cab and tractors and combines, things that are automatically created. What we're not doing, we haven't gave them a place to match their contextual knowledge to that knowledge so they can get an answer that actually is worthwhile to them. That is actually the biggest point for me within the open FMIS stuff and why others need to come in, because they can provide those things, those tools, and ways to turn their contextual data into something else. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing analytics. I'm not doing all these other tools with all these other data sets. I'm just trying to do a base geospatial framework we can all work on so that it's easier for farmers and their most trusted advisors to connect data better with their contextual knowledge. That's it. That's basically it. And help people account and track for that. And sure, there's other things that can come from that and other ways and tools, and things will evolve and get better and everyone will have their own cool stuff. But yeah, we gotta fight together so that we can share together, so that we can win individually, and then we can contribute back and keep evolving and making these things better together and separately. That's the goal. It's not much more complicated than that. And I got that optimism. And not just from smaller companies and individuals. There's some big guns in there that are ready. It's just they need a little more of the story. And I'm going to put that together. And I hope you can help me put that together. And for any people out there that want to get going now, well, let's get going. We can start now. The concept has been laid. The talks have been laid out. Some things are going to change here, and some of the frustrations are not going away. But we can't just give up on those. If they're frustrated, that means there's an opportunity to make them happy. If they're just happy, then we kind of give up and we don't evolve. If everything was perfect, well, when things are perfect, you build, you work together, you invest in yourselves and others, and you make it work. That's life. That's how it works. So TechHub was good. While it's never perfect, everyone wanted to talk to each other. Everyone wanted to get along. And if you ask me, that's what we need the most. Because other years we didn't have that. There was more fighting. There was more complaining. There was more, oh, they're doing this. They're doing this. This is happening here. All this. It actually wasn't really that. It was, well, for one, there wasn't a lot of people on the show floor. First, so a lot of people that are on there were just trying to figure out how we can work with each other. So it's kind of forced. Um, Now's the time to build. Now's the time to work together. Let's do it. So if anything, TechHub Live was great for that, to get us AgTech anonymous um, people together, all us addicts, so we can talk through it, support each other, talk around in a circle, and figure things out. These are what these events are good for. Um, we gotta do it everywhere else now, though. And we can't stop. We can't just call them ideas. We gotta work to it. So I'm gonna do that for my stuff. I hope you want to help me. I want to help you. I think everyone wants to do their own part. When times get tough, you fight. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully you want to join the fight as well. We'll see you later. It was fun seeing everybody. Both for the people I didn't see here. This is what you kind of get from it. I'll drink for you. I'll drink one for you later. Um, yeah. Until next time. See you, everyone.